Hello and welcome to a very special episode of What Do You Call It podcast. I'm your host, GB. Today's guest is a former two-time WWE Tag Team Champion, Impact Media Champion, and three-time TNA World Tag Team Champion. Please welcome the most professional wrestler representing the system, Brian Myers. Brian, how you doing today, mate? You all good?
What's up, man? Thanks for having me on.
Thank you very much for coming on, mate. I do really appreciate it. Big week for you this week. There could be a chance you could be wearing the turkey suit again.
It's a double-edged sword, you know. It's a point of pride. It's also, humiliating. So, I wore it last year, so I feel like I really made my stake in the history of TNA with all the legendary performers that have done this thing. But that said, I don't want to wear it again.
Hello there. I've got a special announcement for my next guest.
Folks, it's the earthquaking, pillar shaking, meat popping, jaw dropping. The one you come to see, the man made for TV, BT Double B, Big Trouble Ben Bishop. And you can hear me on the What Do You Call It podcast with my guy, GB.
You heard. Just took a quick break then, but I was discussing with Brian about the possibility of wearing the turkey suit again in the upcoming Thanksgiving Turkey Ball, where Brian's going to be battling Ryan Nemeth, um, Lance Warner, Trey Miguel, Eric Young, and Hometown Man. I'm certainly looking forward to it. Strong possibility he could be wearing it again twice, but
There's
you
no
know,
possibility. Let's be serious. Yeah, it's an honor to wear the thing once. It's a shame to wear it twice. Yeah, not happening this year, but that match is very interesting because it brings a lot of smiles to people's faces. So I can't be that upset by it.
definitely, mate. And just to think the same suit's been worn by previous, well, it's weird to call them losers, but AJ Styles and Alex Shelley.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of Eric Young was worn it a couple times. He's in this match, so he could be might be like a
Yeah.
three-peat for him if he wins. Yeah.
Oh, mate, hopefully. Um, what toy line is underrated in your mind, sort of wrestling or otherwise? I used to like the Marvel toys for TNA figures from the earlier years of TNA.
I
I
have
thought
some
they were
hanging right. I
cracking
have Series
figures.
One autographed hanging right beside me here. I am very partial to those. I do think they're underrated, especially like you said, because they were made by Marvel, so they had that like different comic booky vibe to them, unlike other wrestling
Mm.
figures. The ECW, the original ECW line is my favorite of all time and super underrated to me. And I will say, if you need like a detail as to why I say that because there's not one reused part in that whole line, which normally in wrestling figures, okay, it's a guy in trunks and they're gonna
Yeah,
switch the head
Jack
out.
Jacks was the worst for
It's
that,
this,
wasn't it?
it's you know what I mean? Yeah, and they're all the same. There's not one reused part for some reason in the CCW line, and everyone's unique unto themselves, and I think that's pretty. It has to be acknowledged, I should say.
I didn't know that, to be fair.
Yeah.
What was your favorite TNA figure, by the way, just before I move on of the Marvel series that you did?
That's man, there's so many that I love. I loved the Christian in the jumpsuit just because he was, he to me he was like the man at TNA at the time.
Mm.
I love the like more jacked up Abyss that comes in the two pack with Jeff Hardy. I love that one a lot too. So I love Monty Brown because he's just one of my favorites ever at TNA wrestling, and that's
Oh, he's
his,
a legend. He's going to TNA Hall of
yeah,
Fame, I reckon.
he's got. I begged him when I saw him that we got to get him in.
Mate, I'd love to see that. I think the Shark Boy one was very unique as well as a figure.
Shark Boy is a great figure
Very
too.
hard to find. It
Yeah,
was awesome. So I want to talk about the system. I want you to give me one word to describe each member. I'm going to start
cool.
off with Moose.
Mm, man, special.
Fair play, fair play. Moose special. Eddie Edwards.
um, hmm, Eddie. There's a lot of ways I can describe Eddie. I mean, such a big fan of his, and we're best friends. But um, loyal. Let's
Nice.
go with loyal.
Aisha Edwards.
Real.
Nice. And last but not least, JDC.
Irreplaceable.
Good choice of words. He did recently announce that he is going to be retiring after TNA Genesis in January. And as you two have been good friends for a long time, I want to know what's your reaction to this announcement, at Impact.
So it's something he's been talking about for a while, so we kind
Mhm.
of knew. But for him to say it live on TV, it just felt so definitive. Like okay, it was like it all sunk in that this is like really happening. And then obviously it's something that we knew amongst the system. And then once he makes it, you say it on live Impact TV like that, and then people's phones start blowing up, and it's just really the realness of it settles in.
Yeah,
Um, he's one of my best friends. He's someone I've known for 20 years. I've spent a ridiculous amount of time with him, on the road, at shows and just everything in between. So he's irreplaceable. Like I said, it's gonna be sad. It's gonna be very emotional the next 2 months as his career winds
mm.
down. But that said, I'm gonna soak it all up and have some fun and cherish every little bit of it.
Could this be an opportunity for someone else on the TNA roster to be recruited to the system?
That is what he has said to us. Like I said, he's irreplaceable. So, but I'm not
Mm,
gonna just shut down that idea immediately. I'd be open to it. But the thing that makes the system work is the realness of it. We're
mm.
really all legitimately best friends and very tight, and the system was real and going on backstage far before fans saw it on television. You know what I mean? And that's what's I think a real key to our success is the realness of it. So it's gonna be a really tough thing to just replace, but I'd be open to it. Just I don't really think we have anyone in mind at the moment.
That's fair. That's fair, mate. You're all equals as well. No leaders in the
That too,
system.
the system is unique in that sense too, that nobody's presented as better than the other.
Yeah, I get you, mate. As we close to 2025, ending and a new year around the corner, how did you feel that 2025 TNA went for you, mate, this year overall, if you're looking back?
Pretty incredible, to watch the company grow. Every show just seems like bigger and another milestone and more buzz and more eyeballs on the product. Obviously in 2026 we have this TV deal looming, and I think it's going to be another like monumental step for the company, and I'm super excited to be a part of it. And the role that I've played there in 2025, I think it's being part of the system and really making some really memorable moments. Whether it was the cage match in El Paso or at Slammiversary, ridding TNA of an NXT invasion from Dark State, or Bound for Glory and Hardcore War, where Lish stepped up and
That match was
really,
awesome, by the way.
yeah,
That
where
was
she
awesome.
really you know stole the show, and I'm so proud of her and
Yeah.
her performance, things like that. And I think we made a lot of memorable moments. The accolades that the system got in 2025 wasn't championships and things like that. It was more um just things that I hope wrestling fans never forget.
A lot of moments created as well by the system, and even yourself, beating Leon Slater as well.
Yeah, for sure. It's just it's all been really cool. Like I said, it's
Mm,
just been such an awesome ride to watch the company grow.
definitely, mate. I just see the attendance figures are literally growing and growing, getting better and better, and sort
Hmm.
of just who knows what's going to happen in 2026. But as a fan, I'm so excited. I honestly can't wait to see what else TNA can do next year. But it's been a very strong year. I asked this question to Jody Threat, and I think it's going to be a good question for you because you've achieved so much in TNA. As you've had many memorable matches and moments in TNA, I want to ask you, what would be your best TNA matches and moments that you show to someone who's just signed up to the TNA Plus streaming device and have them watch them?
Ooh, that's a great question. I mean, I'm one of those people. I'm just like never satisfied. So if you ask me, I'd say I
Yeah.
haven't had my best match yet. You know what I mean? I'm still looking for it. When I think back on my TNA career, I mean, there's a lot of really awesome ones. That I believe Rebellion with Matt Cardona. In the COVID era, we had a really awesome one. And then even at Slam when Chelsea debuts as a surprise, I think was just a really cool moment that I think TNA fans will remember for a long time. The one I'm most proud of is Bound for Glory 2024, main eventing with Eddie and the Hardys, and like what was like our biggest building in years and years and years,
Mm.
and sold out crowd in Detroit.
Great
That's just a
match. I
real
really like
real
that.
real point of pride, being in there with Ace and Bay, and especially after what happened to that's really Chris Bay's last match, so that's obviously going to always be very sentimental to me. So like I said, I'm always searching for it, man. I still want to be the TNA, world heavyweight champion. I got a lot to prove still and a lot to do. So,
Thought you and Trevor Lee did some good stuff as well, like against the Wolves in your first
yeah,
TNA
I
run.
mean that's like where the bond between me and Eddie really forged. All those matches with Trevor Lee and
Mm,
the Wolves. And I realized like, holy shit, this guy's incredible.
they
So,
were awesome.
yeah, especially the one we had at Bound for Glory 2015 is a really good tag match.
Yeah, no, I really like
Mm.
that one, mate. Thank you very much for your time, Brian. I know you're very limited, very busy man with your own podcast, wrestling career, mate. So I genuinely am very grateful for this time and opportunity to speak to you. Hopefully, if I do get a chance to speak to you next year, 2026 TNA World Heavyweight Champion. Let's make it
That sounds good,
happen.
man. Let's do it.
But appreciate it, mate. Like this video, subscribe to this channel. But for now, everyone, have a great week, and also keep an eye out for TNA Plus and TNA Impact. Who knows? Brian might end up in a turkey suit, but hopefully not.
Come
Take care,
on.
everyone. See ya.